al final, como les adelantábamos, de la nueva app de reciclaje. Pero ahora es el momento de Alexandre Lemille. Alexander es fundador de Wise Impact, que es una consultora que escala negocios como herramienta para mejorar vidas y regenerar el medio ambiente. Alex ha estado involucrado con la economía circular desde el año 2011, sobre todo muy involucrado con la Fundación Ellen MacArthur, de la que ayer conocimos mucho. En 2014 desarrolló una versión socialmente inclusiva de la economía circular. Recientemente ha estado involucrado en el tema bastante crítico de la optimización del valor circular. Es cofundador de la Red de Economía Circular Africana. Fue miembro invitado del Grupo de Trabajo de Economía Circular en 2016 y también en el mismo año fue reconocido por el Foro Económico Mundial en la categoría de Liderazgo de Economía Circular. Así que le damos la bienvenida. Welcome.
Gracias. Before I start, and since I'm the last speaker, I would like us to say a big thank you, to a team of ladies that have been incredible and have been working hard all night long. So, Maria Jose, Macarena, Giselle, Delfina, and their colleagues. Thank you. That's been an amazing journey. Buenos días a todos. Question. ¿Qué país de América Latina es el más fuerte en el fútbol? Uruguay, okay. So I wanted you to fight a little bit to see that you are a very competitive countries and show you that it's a long way to a collaborative economies. But you all agree that Uruguay is the best country in football, so great. So we have come to realize that our world is finite. The circular economy is helping us understand how we can align ourselves and businesses alongside natural cycles. Redesigning our systems give us now an opportunity to maybe create a world which is more equitable, and it's most probably doable. So we will understand how to do that together. Although complex, the circular economy is our best pathway towards well-being, yet as long as it is well designed. Changing the relation between the environment and the economy is great, but we need to embed the humans in order to make it even more valuable. The economy that we have been designing so far has been highly destructive to our planet. What we call the Technosphere, based on fossil fuel and fossils, has been highly destructive. Therefore, we would need to fix those cracks that have been created through the Technosphere. One way to look at solutions could be to see where the highest stock of resources is available at hand. One first stock of resources is our biosphere. This is a self-regenerated ecosystemic metabolism that helps us understand how to create abundance of flow. So this is the first stock of innovation that we can tap into. The second stock of resources is us, humans. We are numerous. We are growing fast. So how about tapping into that stock of resource as well? So both the biosphere and the humans could be bringing us innovation and help us fix those cracks. First, the Technosphere. This is the right-hand side of the butterfly diagram of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. These are our limited resources. All the robots, all the cars, all the machineries that we design depends on elements, and those elements are limited. We therefore need to redesign them and manage them carefully. The focus here is reduce energy, grant more access to that Technosphere, and maintain the value as high as possible. The second sphere is the biosphere. This is a disappearing pot of resources, and we need to urgently protect and restore that stock of resources in order to understand how to follow natural cycles and create abundance of flow. The focus here is in mimicking the cycles and rebuilding the biosphere. Lastly, us humans, okay? Us humans, we are an abundant stock of resources. We are endless energy. We are a stock of knowledge that needs to be maintained and improved on a regular basis. We are highly versatile, adaptable, and creative. It's not me saying that, it's Professor Walter Stahel from the performance economy. The focus here is to constantly develop those capabilities of humans and to keep education as high as possible. Our stock of knowledge is the most precious stock in a circular economy, which is well designed. Yet, there is no dedicated sphere. Again, Professor Stahel is telling us that in a linear economy, we need 3 times more energy than manpower. Whereas in a circular economy, we should be using that manpower 3 times more than energy. So what are we waiting for? A possible pathway for circular innovation could be this kind of Marshall Plan's decision-making process, where we would first, what I call the golden rule, first protect the natural capital and develop it. This is the only time we should use the word growth, okay? This is the only capital that we need to grow. This is the natural capital. Then use the human capital and make sure we use and abuse of that human capital. And lastly, protect and value the remanufactured capital. In this order, we would therefore also protect the human capital before the remanufactured capital. To give you an example, jumping straight into the technologies, because technologies will save us, might not be the right pathway in your decision-making process. Any technology that replaces humans, that do not absorb CO2, is a wrong technology. We have humans at hand. So why jumping straight into robots? Robots could be engineered by humans. We are the energy to actionate the robots. Why not using us? So the strategies here is to rebuild the natural capital, to spread the human capitals in between the natural capital and the remanufactured capital, and to use us to increase the value of the goods that we are using every day. So let's modify the butterfly diagram. I know that the butterfly diagram has the central spine, which is our linear economy, that is helping us to understand how to create feedback loops on both sides, on the biosphere and on the technosphere. But let's imagine we are in an advanced circular economic model, and we have inserted now a human sphere. And by inserting that human sphere, it helps us understand our role in this next economy. Where are we? What is our role and what is expected of us? And by inserting that human sphere, we understand the flows and we understand the strategies that we need to do to implement in order to, on one hand, rebuild the biosphere, and on the other hand, maintain the value of the technosphere as high as possible. To do that, the strategy on the left-hand side is about adaptation. We are nature, we are humans that needs to rebuild the biosphere. The strategy of adaptation is about seeing us as energy and as resources. I will take the famous example of the ants. The ants weigh more than 7 billion people on the planet. Yet the ants are rebuilding the biosphere every day. Why are we restricting it? So first strategy, adaptation. The feedback loop from the biosphere would be helping us on evolution and improve our lives and food. Since we have been adaptable to the biosphere, the feedback loops will bring us better life and better food. On the right-hand side, our relation with the technosphere is about valorization. The strategy here is about using us as energy and services to maintain the value of the technosphere. And the feedback loop from the technosphere would be about advancement. I will change the word development because I prefer advancement. We are advancing the human species by granting humans better access and better experience of the technosphere. Okay. There are two business models from this human sphere that we can extract from. The first one in green, human as a resource. This is your input model. Humans are nature. We are flows of energy and matter. Resource is abundance, and the role here is to rebuild the ecosystem. So we should move from reconnecting with nature, what we learn with biomimicry, to be nature. We are part of nature. And the second business model is human as a service. This is your output model. We are endless energy and we are power. So therefore, we move into an economy of service, which is highly versatile, and we are highly versatile. The role here is to maintain the value, and again, Walter Stahel, in a maintenance economy, one needs 3 times more manpower than energy. So why not abusing of it? Before I move to that slide, the dean of La Escuela de Negocios de Montevideo, Pablo Regent, was saying that we will be facing a tsunami, a huge wave of robotized services in the coming years. And instead of being victim of that wave, we should jump on its crest and surf it. This could be one way to surf on the wave of the tsunami of robotized services, by thinking through it and seeing where the abundance of flows are coming from. And using humans could be one way to adapt ourselves to the robots instead of human strategy. Let's look at some examples. Rebuilding the biosphere. What are the examples of us being nature or us providing energy and resources to rebuild the biosphere? The first example is human as matter. Maybe we have some issues with that, but we are matter, and we can provide matter to the biosphere so that we rebuild it. So I took the example of Diesel here. Diesel, which is based in Berlin, and they use the excretion to transform them into rich humus. What they do is that they invite families in Berlin, and they provide them with free diapers, biocompostable diapers. And as we all know, when we are young couples, the budget is a bit limited, and when we have babies, having free access to diapers could be good news when we know the cost of big brands of diapers. So they provide diapers for free, and what they expect from those families is for them to come to a point where they will be dropping the baby produce with the diapers. And this produce will be transformed into black, rich humus in order to grow fruit trees. So that's a company that provides diapers on one hand and generates revenue by selling fruits. So it's not closing the loop, it's reinventing another loop. Another example is human as ecosystem builders. We have understood with the many videos of John D. Liu, this Chinese-American expert in permaculture, that we can, as humans, we can rebuild large landscapes of ecosystem that has been damaged or being dry, like this dry mountain or dry desert in China, Ethiopia, or Jordan. In 15 years of time, they have been able to rebuild completely the ecosystem, sometimes recreating rivers and even attracting animals. So rebuilding ecosystem at a large scale is also possible. Humans replacing bees in China. The Maoxian ladies in the Sichuan region, they are hand-pollinating fruit trees because the bees are missing. So until such time the bees are coming back, they are replacing the bees and hand-pollinating each and every flowers of each fruit trees. And one last example is human rebuilding mangroves. Mangroves in Senegal is one of the largest mangroves in the world, and the villagers there, they understood 10 years ago that if they don't rebuild the mangroves, the fish will not have a safe place for reproduction, therefore no fisheries anymore and no food for the villagers. So the people can also fix all the issues that we have seen, that we have experienced so far. On the right-hand side, the human as a service model, our relation to the technosphere. We have few examples here. Human assisting robots in Germany. Mercedes has decided to reintroduce humans in their manufacturing chains because robots could not adapt fast enough to the customization of S-Class cars. So they had to reintroduce humans to assist robots to do the job. In Ghana, an amazing example here as well, not from the social perspective or social protection point of view, but just to understand how organically people were organized themselves for the past 30, 40 years in Ghana by having those second-hand cars coming from Europe without spare parts. And Ghanaians, they had to find ways to maintain those cars running in the streets of Accra and Ghana as long as possible. So they have been prolonging those cars, even fixing electronic cars with mechanical parts. And there has been 12,000 businesses growing organically and hiring over 200,000 people over these years. And the last example, Sweden has been promoting repair-based businesses by dropping the VAT tax from 25% to 12%. And again, here the tax has been dropped on the business, but there is a way as well to drop taxes on the people themselves. And the best example is the X-Tax project, which is, in my view, the step one towards this human sphere. The X-Tax project from Eckhard Winkel is telling us that government can create a tax system whereby we will be lowering taxes on labor and increasing taxes on fossil fuel or fossil-based resources, as well as other resources that are limited, in order to unleash the power of humans fixing the resources in a scarce economy. An example which is often given in presentation is that the number of jobs per 10,000 tons of used goods is usually one job created in an incineration-based economy, 36 generated in a recycling-based economy, and up to 300 in a service-based economy. But this is not taking into consideration the fact that we can shift tax on manpower, and not taking into consideration the fact that we can adapt our behavior in order to rebuild the biosphere. So maybe this number could be far higher than just 300 jobs created in a service-based economy. So to finish my presentation, I have defined in papers, and it's available online, the concept of circular economy 2.0, which goes even beyond what I've just presented. The circular economy 2.0 explained that besides waste, which is being eradicated by us thinking in circles and using circular thinking, we can also align ourselves with eradicating poverty by thinking in circle and trying to eradicate poverty in parallel to waste. Either we find strategies to eradicate waste and poverty together or one after another, but creating an equitable economy is definitely possible in a versatile service-based economy. The two would lead us to an optimization of circular value where, again, we would come up with solutions that protect the biosphere against the human sphere and then move on to create value in the technosphere. And the aim of these two visions of eradicating waste together with poverty could lead us towards more well-being for all. Again, this is not utopian. This is possible because we are in a distributed economy. A distributed economy is the economy of the SMMEs, is the economy of the people. Abundance of flows are available to every one of us, and this kind of economy is possible to benefit 100% of the people on the planet. Thank you.